Okay, we're at the northwest corner of the structure in front of the fence, going around counterclockwise. These are control joints. All right. We expect the building to move. You have a long wall of brick. We put the control joints, are like the ones that you see on the street. If we've had some movement here, we hope this will take most of it so that we don't have the stair step cracks and the horizontal cracks and the cracked bricks. So that's what it's there for. Now this sealant, okay, it gets dry and it shrinks and it pulls away from the brickwork. So every couple years, or in this case in 1 year, we should come over here and reseal this, because we don't want any more moisture going through the brick than is necessary. Alright, some moisture will go through the brick. Brick is porous. It's a very good building material. This home could burn down and we could reuse the brick. Might make it stronger. It's a very good insulator. But a byproduct is that it's porous. When the lawn sprinkler system hits it, the water goes right through it. The rain goes right through it. We knew that when we built the house. That's why we put these weep holes. Now, most of the time, the only thing that's we have a drainage plane behind the brick, I guess. I wasn't here for the pre-drywall inspection. This is a 1-year inspection. I wasn't here for the pre-drywall inspection, but we're doing good faith. We've got a drainage plane behind here. Any moisture gets through the brick, travels down the drainage plane. And again, by the time it gets down to here, we're just dealing with vapor. And if you have an event, an emergency, I've seen water come out of these. I hope you don't, but they're capable of doing that. But just because these are necessary, this is not an elongated weep hole. Now, this is a control joint. It has a completely different use. And these are designed to handle as much water gets behind the walls. This is adding water that was not anticipated, was not designed for, did not meet the design criteria. Double pane vinyl frame windows. Our gas enters the west side of the house. We're traveling south. Ring gutters are below grade. Trees should not be placed closer than 25 feet to the house. I get it. It's a little crepe myrtle. It's ornamental. It's a little kitten. Well, little kittens grow up to be big old nasty tomcats. And I get this because as I look around, I see a crepe myrtle too close to the house. Crepe myrtle too close to the house. Crepe myrtle too close to the house. I had to look hard for that one. It's probably a homeowners association, but I'm just telling you that, in a perfect world, a tree wouldn't be placed. And I get it. We don't have a lot of yard, okay? But a tree, ideally, should not be placed closer than 25 feet to a slab foundation. This is a pest control service. Now, this is not for termites, okay? It's for all the other insects. And our rain gutters are a little boogered up right in here. I have not put a ladder up next to this house. I will, but I have not yet. That's not my damage. Now, lawn sprinkler drip lines, this piping, okay, it's allowed to be exposed, but it causes it to be susceptible to evaporation when it's exposed like that. And if it is exposed, you should have every 12 inches, you should have a staple to keep it from people from tripping on it. I've lost a couple bushes here. And that might be under your warranty. It's beyond the scope of my inspection, but it might be part of your warranty. Okay. Where do termites live? In the ground. What do they eat? Dead wood. What's wood mulch? Dead wood on the ground next to your house. It's called a clue. It's called a clue. I get it. People like wood mulch next to their house. I've got some wood mulch next to my house. You shouldn't have to live like me. But that is a conducive condition. So are sinks, so are kitchens, so are bathrooms, so are fences next to the house. We got a lot of conducive by design. We decided we wanted wood mulch. We put wood mulch right there. We knew it wasn't a good idea, but we did it anyway. Yay! Okay. Now, this siding is in direct contact with the roof covering right there. Alright? That means that when these shingles get wet, water can wick up through capillary action, and will wick up through capillary action into your wall system, causing it to, prematurely decompose. And I might hear that, oh, that's a fiber-based siding. It might be. It doesn't look like it, but it might be. But it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's gonna, if you continuously get it wet, it's going to, you'll see. You'll see. I told you so. Moving along. Now this is kind of a, I've been made aware, so I carry what I learned forward. And sometimes, it's good information. The rain gutter should not discharge directly onto the roof covering. That'll cause the shingles to wear out prematurely. Now, we are in Architecture's regional. We are in North Texas. These roofs won't last like 14 years anyway. So, also, the cure, as you walk up to the house, you'll see the downspout across your rooftop. And, sometimes the cure is worse. Sometimes the cure is worse than the ill. So, but I'm bringing it forward. We're missing our vacuum breaker right here. I gotta put that back, and I will. But we're missing our sealant between the disconnect box and the meter box, the cabinet box. But anyway, we don't have any sealant behind here. We put almost, but we just got a little lazy right down these sides here. And these sides will leak just like those sides will. There's nothing special about these sides. It's like, oh, well, those are the ones that don't leak. That's not what the case is. I keep backing up and turning around because I'm looking at the grading and drainage. I want to make sure that it's okay. Again, double pane vinyl frames, UV, overflow for the evaporator coil for the air conditioner. If you see water coming out of that, you've got an emergency. We've got another one over here where the sealant is coming loose. So it's on the middle of the east side. I'll catch that when I come back. Oh, I always promise to. Now back here, I'm looking for a hidden lawn sprinkler weather sensor. Not finding it yet, but we're still looking. Okay. Now these windows here, they should have Z-bar flashing. You should have Z-bar flashing over the top edge. Z-bar flashing goes behind the siding, out over the horizontal trim board, and then down. So any moisture, remember, all walls leak. The brick leaks, of course, we talked about that, but really all walls leak. So any water that gets behind the wall, it helps it find a way. So you see older homes, and you see all the rot around the casement, around the windows. Well, it's because they weren't flashed properly, or them not being flashed properly contributed to the premature death. Something like that. Okay, I'm still not seeing a weather sensor. Still not seeing a weather sensor. How's that? It may be programmed. I might learn. Okay, we might learn that the house uses weather reports on how it activates. I don't know. I'm going to call out that it's not there. I reserve the right to be wrong. So we got that. I'm going to say I don't see a weather sensor. I'll say apparent. See, this is GFCI protected. I mean, we're gonna learn that it is. All right. See, it's got power. Turned off. If you have a GFCI receptacle, it's supposed to be labeled as being GFCI receptacle. Now these cracks right along here. All right. The builder's going to tell you concrete does two things. It gets hard and it cracks. I bet he did. And he's right. Now there's some criteria that we use to determine whether these cracks are structural or not. And all the while they're only guidelines. It's not larger than 1/16 of an inch. It's not wider at the perimeter than it is in the middle. And it's in plane. So the criteria that I use are no more than a 32nd of an inch for that matter. And by the criteria that I use to, help me evaluate the performance of a patio, this doesn't. Monitor it. Check it out. Don't ignore it. But it's normal. And you're not going to have crack envy from your neighbors. They're not going to come over and say, "Oh, you got some of those typical cracks on your patio. I wish I had those." So you're not going to get crack envy. But some people get them and some people don't. Our columns, when the home was built, before it was all framed in, I do not know what provisions were made to help prevent moisture from wicking up off the sidewalk into these posts. I don't know. Maybe they put stands underneath there like they should have. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Going along. Still not finding a weather sensor. But this is look at you. Hiding like a big dog. This little guy right out here outside your back door. That's the weather sensor for your lawn sprinkler system. And I probably would have just walked right past that if I hadn't been looking at the patio lights. These novelty lights, I get it, In fact, I use them at home. But you shouldn't use an extension cord in a permanent application. So you've been scolded. You've been warned. What are you? Got a little rust coming out. Okay. See, this is a post-tension cable foundation. So they put cables inside, and then as the concrete dried, they tightened them. And they cut them off, the cables, and they sealed over them. And that made the foundation, hundreds of times, much more, I don't know, hundreds is the right number that we should throw out there, but much more strong. And that's the way we go now. It's the way we learn to build in this part of the country. But it's supposed to be sealed. They're not supposed to rust like that. And then I'm coming back. As soon as I turn the camera off, I'm putting this guy back. I'm putting the cover back. I'm taking a couple pictures. Coming on. If a retaining wall is less than 4 feet high, a building permit's not required. Okay. If a retaining wall, if its height is less than twice its distance to the structure, then this retaining wall should have no immediate effect on the structure, structural foundation, performance, anything. I mean, it could fall and you could lose some yard or something, but that's beyond the scope of what I'm looking at. So, it's beyond the scope of the inspection. It might be a community, it might be Tennessee in common. So it might go for a while, different yards and stuff.